So with your general audio and MIDI preferences set, let's get an overview of Reason, what it is, and how it differs from other DAWs out there before we dive into the details. The main interface is comprised of three main areas. Firstly, there's the rack, and the rack is where all of your instruments and effects are housed. To view the rack full screen, you can press F6. Now everything here exists as a virtual device, and has a front panel with various controls, as well as a back panel which you can view by pressing Tab, where audio connections are made, as well as these smaller CV connections, which are a special type of signal based on real-world modular hardware that lets any device control any other device in a number of interesting ways. We'll touch on this from time to time, but it's not really the focus of this series, and you don't need to know much about it to use Reason, although it is hugely powerful and a lot of fun. Instruments and devices are controlled by the sequencer, which you can view by pressing F7. There's a track list, a toolbar, and a central arranger where events are laid out and edited. There's also a transport, which will be covered in its own chapter. The third area is the mixer, which can be accessed with F5. The mixer is where all of your audio sources are mixed together and features a full channel strip with send effects, macros, EQ, dynamics, and more. So again, it's F5 for the mixer, F6 for the rack, and F7 for the sequencer. Pressing the same hotkey twice will return you to the default view, which will allow you to see all three views at the same time. If you can't see the mixer, you can just expand it using the circle icon, or you can drag the divider to set it to a custom size. You can also detach the sequencer and rack either by pressing on the detach buttons, or using Control or Command plus F5 or F6. Closing them will just reattach them to the main program window, as I've done here. This is useful if you have additional monitors, as you can put the rack and mixer on their own dedicated displays. Beyond these three main areas, there's also the browser, where all devices can be accessed, including instruments, effects, utilities, and players, as well as the factory sound banks, the file system of your computer, and also favorited locations. The browser can also be hidden or shown by using F3. On your first launch, you may also have a tutorial area on the right-hand side. You can see that I've already hidden mine, and you can do this by going to Options, and then just unticking Always Show Tutorial Area. So throughout the course of this series, I'm going to be jumping between these views. So before we get started, take a little time to familiarize yourself with the shortcuts, get comfortable switching between views, and setting everything up how you want it. When I return, we'll get started by looking at how to create and play instruments.